Bart attends a comic book convention and finds the first issue of Radioactive Man at the Android's Dungeon and Baseball card shop sale table for $100. He doesn't have enough money in his own allowance, and his parents refuse to give Bart extra money. So Bart turns to Mrs. Glick, who has some rather unsavory chores around the house that he can do, but she only gives him 50 cents for his hard work. Bart returns to the comic book store with only a few cents extra and runs into Milhouse and Martin. He talks them into pooling their money and buying the first Radioactive Man comic from Comic Book Guy. None of them want to let the comic book out of their sights and plan to spend the night together in Bart's treehouse. As the storm approaches, Martin devises a plan so that the three boys can have equal access to the comic. As he tends to leave with the comic, Bart stops him. Bart gets progressively more paranoid and becomes convinced that the other two are conspiring against him. Eventually, each boy is at each other's throat. When Martin gets up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, Bart thinks he is planning on stealing the comic book and subsequently ties him to his chair. When Martin tries to complain, Bart tells him they will stick an apple in his mouth if he doesn't keep quiet. Meanwhile, the storm is raging more, and Milhouse falls out of the treehouse and as a gust of wind takes hold of the comic so that it flies toward the entrance. Bart reaches out to grab Milhouse by the hand. He's forced to choose between Milhouse and the comic. Martin reminds Bart that if he hadn't tied him up, he could have saved the comic. After mulling over his options, Bart chooses Milhouse and pulls him up into the treehouse. The comic flies out of the door before Bart can grab it, and to the boys' collective horror, is shredded by Santa's little helper and zapped by lightning. Marge comes outside to get the boys back into the house and offers them hot chocolate and imitation marshmallows. Next morning, the boys reflect on how their inability to share led to the destruction of the comic book. However, they never noticed that the final panel was not shredded and peacefully being a nest mat for a mother bird.